Good job. Starting off proper.
So we should probably start this right now. Okay. So my name's Logan Schroyer. I'm a senior at UWM, and this is totally not sponsored by anyone because we're a couple of broke college kids who are just trying to have some fun.
Very true.
This is my good friend Travon. We met back in my freshman year in 2012, and we've been pretty good friends ever since. Just hanging out, talking sports, all that fun stuff. And so we figured, well, we've been doing it for so long, we know better than half the media out there, at least, probably more. So we figured we'd share our opinions with the world and see what happens with that. So you want to tell us a little about yourself, what teams you like, sports you like watching, things like that?
I guess. I mean, I grew up basically a diehard sports fan over basketball, football, almost anything. I even watch hockey. Yes, black guy watching hockey. A little odd. But I'm a big Packer fan and a Heat fan, even though I don't completely root just for them. I will rather just watch a good basketball, football game in general. And as far as hockey go, big Penguins and Ducks fan. Kind of get made fun of because everybody thinks Sid the Kid is overrated, but he's not. Got more rings than Alex Ovechkin. Just gotta say that.
Well, anybody with the ring does, but we're not going to go there.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, we just did. Anyways, I guess a little about me is kind of same thing. I've been watching sports since I was a little kid, and I would watch Sports Center in my parents' basement back when we lived in Detroit. So for me, like I said, we used to live in Detroit, so I mean, I'm partial to the Red Wings, Michigan Wolverines. Of course, living in Milwaukee, we like some of the local teams too, Brewers, Bucks, Packers, all of them. But I think kind of the difference is just taking the cheesehead goggles off and just having a realistic look at thanking God Thompson is gone and that the Packers have a chance to do something now that they can help build around Rodgers, something they haven't done much recently, and just trying to take as much of an unbiased look as possible when it comes to sports, which is kind of hard in this day and age, but whatever. So, with that being said, let's kick off this first podcast with some NBA news, which goodness knows we've been full of the past week. So where do we want to start? Let's start with what's got everyone talking this morning.
Might as well get the elephant out the room. LeBron.
Oh, LeBron.
Potentially going to Golden States. Personally, I would love to see it for like a game and probably just the finals, even though there really wouldn't be a finals. Because, I mean, who in the East can contend against Steph Curry, potentially Klay Thompson, but I think they may have to trade him to get LeBron. And Kevin Durant and Draymond. Yeah, even if all three of them have a bad night, you still got LeBron, Steph, or Kevin Durant, depending on who it is, to go off at any given moment. But what intrigues me about it, LeBron, the efficiency rating may just skyrocket. I mean, look at what Kevin Durant did when he joined last year. Went from shooting 50, 60% to damn near 70. Come on now.
And now the sarcastic guy in me is thinking the first thing off is, well, how much is Draymond going to charge LeBron for his number, or is he just going to number 6? Like,
I mean, he might as well. He did. 6
Andrew Bogut's not there anymore. He can get number 6 real easy. But all bets aside, if this happens, I might be done with the NBA. I'll still watch my Giannis highlights of him just dunking on the whole league, but I'm sorry, there is no point. Gotta love what Brad Stevens is doing in Boston. You gotta love seeing young talent, even though Markkanen in Chicago just kind of annoys me sometimes with how good he is. But in an age where building young talent and having a core is just starting to become trendy again, now you're going back to superpowers.
But Golden State initially was building off of young talent and became a superpower. Is it really their fault that the cap exploded? They was able to get KD, and now with a few moves, maybe able to get LeBron?
That's a dream scenario everybody's been talking about. And the other one is, of course, LeBron and Wade going to get together with Melo and Chris Paul? Because that's the one in the offseason that everybody was talking about, because they're all friends and everything like that. Are they going to do that for Melo?
I don't completely see the Banana Boat crew getting together just because I don't really think LeBron wants to play with Melo anymore. Even though he has been able to redefine his role with OKC, Melo is still going to be Melo, especially if he get along with his friends. He's still going to take a pass from D Wade, Chris Paul, or LeBron and just jack up a three and turn around and say, "Oh, my bad," especially if he misses it.
Yeah.
He's still going to be himself.
And I feel like that's almost the same thing with Paul George down in OKC. It's like you have your three respective roles, granted. I mean, the depth on the bench is a whole nother issue, but how much further can you go with only one ball to go around the court?
I don't know. I think Russ and Paul George has been making it work a lot better than the season started. Russ is still dropping, a triple-double almost every night, but you still got Paul George coming out with 20, 30 points on any given night, doing him like he was in Indiana. So I think that dynamic is working in with Melo redefining to essentially a six-man role, getting him a good 15 or 20 maybe every night. It may work out. I don't see him contend against Houston or Golden State this year. Maybe not even next year, especially if Golden State does pull off this whole LeBron thing, or if Houston pulls off the LeBron thing. I don't see them being no further than a 3 seed.
Speaking of Houston, I gotta talk about James Harden's big night for just a second. And listening to the national media reports, I've heard both ends of the spectrum. Either he's a lock as MVP or it didn't matter at all. To me, the accomplishment is amazing, especially when you consider that often Harden's been criticized for just being a scorer and nothing really defensive or contributing much otherwise. It speaks to his progression of his game. But, again, it's not MVP lock. It's got to be somewhere in between. But it was still a hell of a night.
It was. I would consider it an MVP lock. I mean, Russ averaged triple-double and then locked up the MVP probably halfway through the season. 60-point triple-double. Could do the same thing in actuality, but I listen to Colin a lot. I told you that. He made the point of, in D'Antoni's system, anybody can do that. I mean, Steve Nash was a 2-time MVP, back-to-back, in Kobe's prime, in Tim Duncan's prime. He made that point. I'm like, holy crap, that makes a lot of sense. If I had the talent, I could probably go in D'Antoni's system and score 60 points and get a triple-double. Not saying I'm nowhere near James Harden talent. I can hold my own on the court against certain people, but not nowhere near James Harden talent.
Blake Griffin. From LA to Detroit, that's a heck of a trip, my friend. That is a heck of a trip. How did this deal happen? Does it make sense for either team? Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
To me, it makes sense for the Clippers for the simple fact I think they're trying to get in the running for LeBron. Right now, this is a pure 2-week notion of we're dumping salaries. We want to open up as much money, get LeBron, say, hey, here's your max contract. Now, who do you want? Who do you want to play with? You can deal out whatever else you want to give out to players as far as people you want to run with for the next season. As far as Detroit, you don't really get much. You give up a defensive player in Avery Bradley and probably your best scorer in Tobias Harris for a glorified dunker who never really developed a good mid-range jumper other than the elbow that he, out of every 5 shots, maybe hit one. So, to me, especially if they pull off LeBron, Clippers won the trade. You can go from being a bottom dweller with a couple good first-round picks or a second-round pick, I believe they got out of the deal, and being a championship contender within the year.
At this point, the thing that makes me wonder with this trade is how much longer does DeAndre Jordan have left? Because I don't see him ending the season with this team.
Oh, he's next.
He's the next. He's the last piece to go.
Him and Lou Williams. That's been rumored. Him and Lou Williams are the next big salary dumps. And the way Cleveland's doing, I think they're going to just be like, you know what? Let's just ride it out. We don't need nobody else. They know they're not coming out the East, at least in my opinion. I think Boston's going to put them out Eastern Conference Finals if they're still a top 3 seed. The way they're playing, they may be a bottom half seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs, even though I don't think LeBron's going to let that happen on him, even without K-Love.
Well, then LeBron almost has to turn into Westbrook like he did last year with just going all out every game to keep your team relevant.
That's what he essentially did during the first half of the season with that, 18 win game streak. I mean, can he sustain that over another 30 games? I doubt it, just because. I mean, he may not show it. LeBron's getting old. If he can sustain practically averaging a triple double at his age, man, play as long as you want. I don't care what's going on with you. Stay till your son gets there. I don't care. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Speaking of LeBron, looking at Cleveland, and now this injury with Kevin Love, who, according to reports, however true they are or not from the locker room, between Kevin Love and Isaiah Thomas, the bus is leaving by, and both of them have a firm seat underneath it.
Basically, yeah.
With Kevin Love gone, is it the LeBron and Isaiah show, or is LeBron just gonna say to him, "Look, I will give you the ball when you get it, you're allowed to shoot"?
To me, that's what it gotta be. I mean, granted, Kevin Love was the number 2 scorer, but he's gone now. I don't see Isaiah being able to pour it in like that. I mean, again, referencing Colin again, said some smart shit half the time. When Isaiah was in Phoenix, he averaged, 10, 15 points. Sacramento, same thing. Only time he was actually a good scorer was his, year and a half, 2 years with Brad Stevens. And that's just a beautiful offense. He was able to do whatever he wanted to. Look at Kyrie. He doesn't have to average 20, 25 a game. He can get 15, 18 points and they still win. That's how good I feel Brad Stevens' offense is. He's not getting that over in Cleveland just because it's LeBron's offense. LeBron's a ball dominant, I guess you can say, point center. He can do almost anything. Just give him the ball, he will set you up perfectly. I don't see Isaiah being able to take over a game at any point with Cleveland right now.
Well, especially when you look at potential playoff matchups, and we'll get to this in a second too with the John Wall injury. But if you think about other teams in the East, they would potentially have to face off against a Toronto, against a Cleveland, even a Milwaukee with guards like Bledsoe and Brogdon who he'd have to go against. You have to wonder if he can keep the plus minus even, if not better, against some of these high quality players.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's out to make a check, which I don't see him being a max player, which he's looking for. I mean, he's not going to be able to beat Kyrie, who is a max player. He's not even going to be able to beat a rookie of the year in Brogdon, I feel, because Brogdon has possibly one of the best lockdown defenses in the league. I mean, he locked up Kyrie, even though Kyrie still hit him with a nasty spin, split a double team, and made a layup with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. That's Kyrie and those beautiful handles. He is nowhere near that. I don't see him being able to have a favorable matchup to play the starting point guard for Cleveland and average what he thought would be 30 points a game. Not in LeBron's offense at all.
No. And at that point, because when Isaiah was doing that, he was pulling up from almost everywhere. And he had players like Horford and Crowder and these big guys who can just grab boards if he missed them.
Yeah.
With Kevin Love out, and granted, he'll be back by the time the playoffs are coming, most likely. But even if he is, you're asking a lot out of Tristan Thompson. You're asking a lot out of these players and LeBron to grab more boards and let him take those shots. Yes. And that's something in the playoffs where I don't know if they're going to be comfortable with.
Yeah, especially because he puts up a lot of bad shots. I mean, me and you talked personally about Trae Young and his bad shots. Isaiah Thomas puts up way more bad shots than a college player right now. And that's going to hurt them in the long run late in the season as far as seeding or getting in the playoffs coming down to, damn, we need a basket to win it. Isaiah's going to pull up from 30 feet and brick a three-pointer with 2 seconds left. LeBron's probably going to hang him up on the rim if that happens.
Yeah.
Especially if it costs him the season.
Which, yeah. We'll see if it even gets down to a last-second shot with this team. I don't know. But speaking of controversial point guards, let's go to Washington for a second and John Wall's injury. First of all, apparently this team had a players-only meeting recently, came out worse after it. I don't know how that's possible, but something's wrong in that locker room.
I mean, when you got an all-star point guard that nobody likes, that's bound to happen.
That doesn't help.
There's been reports that nobody, not even Bradley Beal, who is running mate, doesn't like him. I mean, come on.
So you have that going down, and you're looking at this Washington team going, what are they missing? Like, if they're all healthy, Gortat's a nice enough role player in the paint. He's proven that from his time in Phoenix.
What, you got Markieff over there who can stretch you out at the 4, even play some center.
I don't know if they need Otto Porter to make a next big step, or if they just need another piece, but to me...
Did Porter really make a big step? He go from, shooting 20% from 3 to 40 in a year?
Well...
Did you really expect him to maintain that jump? He's not a Steph.
No.
That's why he got paid, because he hit 40% from three-point field 1 year.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you need to do that in this day and age, but is he really a shooter?
Yeah. And I think if you're Washington, you just have to look at yourselves after this year because, again, obviously, I don't think anybody sees them in the conference finals, much less NBA finals.
I don't see them getting past the first round.
So what does that mean for their future?
Well, this is me being biased right now. I'm a Gator fan. I want Bradley Beal to leave. I want Beal to leave because he's easy an all-star every year. Especially if he gets to the right point guard that can help set him up a little bit better than John Wall. Because John Wall is a pure ball-dominant guard where he will drive to the lane and then just get blinded and do what he needs to do. Or he'll pull up from 3 just to get himself going. Bradley Beal leaves, he can go somewhere and flourish, kind of somewhat like Victor Oladipo is doing right now in Indiana, even though I'm not saying John Wall is a Russell Westbrook. He's not that ball dominant, but he's ball dominant. He's not Westbrook level to where he's going to average a triple-double and make somebody who apparently is an all-star not look like an all-star. Even though I didn't think Oladipo would be an all-star at all in his career, which threw me off.
Don't think anybody did, honestly.
Right now he's, averaging 25 points and, close to 10 assists a game?
Who else is in Indiana?
Lance Stevenson and Miles Turner, but... I mean, that could explain it, but Miles Turner is not a bad player, and... Lance is getting all of the headlines from that I keep seeing on my phone.
Well, it's because Lance is Lance, even if he...
It's not Lance being Lance, though. It's Lance being Lance as far as basketball.
Well...
Granted, we know Lance as blowing on LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals 4 years ago. Or untying somebody's shoes at the free throw line. It's not that Lance that's getting the headlines. This is the Lance that's actually winning games almost, or making the big player dunking on somebody or something.
Yeah. So... Yeah. So going into the All-Star break, which is coming up soon, Milwaukee's getting Jabari back, which probably doesn't mean much until March.
Yeah. He got to get his legs under him.
Minute-wise. What... Could there be any surprise teams, or are we looking at a 4-team race between Houston, Golden State, Boston, and Cleveland?
I wouldn't even say 4. Like I said, I'm putting Cleveland completely out of it. There's too much turmoil going on right now for them to be even considered winning a championship.
I'm torn because, and this could be I do have a lot of love and respect for LeBron, but until he gets put out in a conference playoff series, it's hard for me to bet against LeBron, given that he's been in the finals how many years in a row?
This is true, and this is coming from a guy who's a LeBron fan as well. I mean, he played for my Heat, where it started his whole finals run and won 2 championships. Thank you. I appreciated that, LeBron. But when he started his 7 runs, his only competition was Indiana. And that was his first couple of years with the Heat.
Yeah.
Who's really
at least out of the East. Yeah.
Who was really the comp for him in the East when he came back to Cleveland? Don't worry, I'll wait. Yeah.
Jeez. Eastern Conference got to catch up to the West.
I mean,
they really do.
Giannis and the Bucks are on the way up, but by the time they're complete competition for him, he'll probably be going somewhere west.
Toronto's nice too. They're not bad. You got to give respect to what they've been able to build up there. We have the North and all that, but I mean, yeah. For now, to me, in the East, it's a 2-team race until Toronto makes that next step and puts Cleveland out, or Milwaukee makes that next step. And I think both teams are maybe a year away from securing that relevance, which by that time LeBron's probably gone, and then you're all chasing Boston. So it's torch being passed almost to Brad Stevens.
True, but with LeBron leaving, I think it'll be a closer race because Milwaukee's right now looking for a coach. They get the right coach, they could surpass Boston before Boston can even take the torch.
Which is amazing because one of the biggest issues Milwaukee had under Kidd so far this season was playing up and down to their competition. They would give Cleveland a hell of a game, keep it back and forth till the fourth, and then the next game they're playing Dallas and they get blown out.
Yeah. And I saw recently destroyed Chicago.
On Sunday, yeah.
Where Bledsoe didn't even play most of the game because it was basically a rest day within the game where he started. I mean, granted, the interim coach, I can't remember his name. I don't think
Joe Prunty.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna last just because there's some nice coaches out there on the market that could probably get them to the next level. Why not go after somebody like Mark Jackson, David Fizdale, even a Monty Williams? I mean, if you want defense, Monty Williams and Fizdale is a perfect match for it.
Well, that was the issue last year with Milwaukee too, was closing out the 3-point line especially. They would get torched by other teams for threes because for all the length they have with Middleton, with Giannis, with some of these other players like Tony Snell,
their rotation sucked.
It was terrible. Like you'd see them flying all over the court, but they were always one pass behind, and other teams would get too many open looks, and that's how they'd get beat. So you'd think, at least in the few games I've watched with Prunty coaching, that their rotation's been better, forced more turnovers, and gotten on the fast break board, which is always good for Milwaukee because Giannis is a one-man fast break. Takes 3 steps, he's at the hoop.
Half court, 3 steps, he's dunking on somebody, making a poster. It's been done and over with. I just need, if Giannis develops a jumper.
Which, again, watching Milwaukee recently, look at Monday night against the Sixers, Giannis, his mid-range is getting there.
Yeah.
Like, defenders will still be 2 or 3 steps off him, but he could pull up with 10 seconds on the shot clock from 18, from 20, and knock it down, like, 2 or 3 times out of 5. Which, for Giannis, is a big step, given where he's come from. Now, if he gets that 3-point game there, it's over.
You literally just looking at the KD that can take 2 steps from half and dunk on you. I mean, he jumps up. He's looking eye to eye to the basket. His release is basically going down, if you think about it. Kind of similar to Kristaps Porzingis. When they both shoot a jumper, they got to shoot down towards the basket, which you never really see people do. So if he actually develops that jumper, Milwaukee gets the right coach, does Boston grab the torch?
Then you're almost going back a generation where it was Boston and Milwaukee going at it.
And it would be beautiful.
Oh,
you got the brainchild of what Brad Stevens is doing over in Boston with whoever we get in as far as Milwaukee head coach battling back and forth. Be a beautiful Eastern Conference Finals.
Especially with the youth on both teams. Like, granted, it's always nice to see established players. And I wouldn't go as far as to say that Giannis isn't established. Of course he is at this point. But still, he's just turned 22 recently or something like that.
He's 4 or 5 years in the league right now?
And Snell, Middleton, Brogdon's 23. These are all young kids. If you keep this core together and if they can develop together, oh my goodness.
Question. Do you give Jabari another year before actually getting rid of him or letting him go?
That's on Jabari at this point. Because to me, like he said, he's all about the Midwest. From Chicago, loves the Chicago-Milwaukee area. That's where it gets interesting because Chicago is faster in their rebuild than I think someone would give him credit for in the preseason because of players like Markkanen and Chris Dunn. And, of course, Mirotic is a solid player, but we'll see if he's not used for trade bait.
I was about to say, aren't they kind of trying to blow up the system right now with Bobby Portis and Mirotic not really getting along?
They are, but even if you do shop those guys to get a better future, to me, Jabari's not going anywhere except Chicago or Milwaukee, barring a trade. So after this year, when his rookie contract is getting ready to come up, You either sit in negotiations with him and say, hey, we'll extend you a team player, one of those two, a team player option, and try and keep you on the short term and let you prove yourself, and then extend you. Because again, you don't know, and you don't want to give him a max Michael Redd contract and have it blow up in your face.
True, but I personally don't see you breaking up this young core without them actually being able to play a full year together.
Yeah.
I mean, you looked at it last year, Giannis and him, the dynamic duo was averaging what, 25 and 20 respectively. Then you get Middleton back, then Jabari goes down. And once Middleton got his legs back, he started to average about 20 or so. Now we add Bledsoe, the beautiful rookie in Brogdon. You get them all together, could be something very special.
The other thing is, and this threw me off because I've been kind of down on Middleton this year because to me he's a little inconsistent at times. One game he'll drop 40, the next he'll have like 8. But he's quietly averaged 20 this season.
Yeah. But I look at it as there's nobody else really be able to shoot the ball.
True.
I mean,
True.
you got Giannis who nobody knows can really shoot, so they're gonna sag off him like you said. 10 seconds left, he'll pull a jumper with 3 feet of space in front of him. But all Giannis is really known for is that beautiful Euro he does, where he just glides around you and dunk on you, or driving and dishing it out to somebody like Eric Bledsoe who may knock down a 3 or Chris Middleton. There's no actual other scorer on the court where the attention's gonna be drawn to them, leaving Middleton being able to take some of the points.
And that's the other person on that team is Thonmaker, who this season looks like he took a step back.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, because I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or what the deal is, but a lot of the shots he's been putting up have rimmed out. If he takes a dribble, there's a good chance of a turnover. I don't know what the problem is with him, but you hope he can right the ship and just keep progressing because, again, not to be hard on him, because, again, he's young, he's raw, he's like Giannis was his first 2 years. You know, you don't want to rush progression like that, but you'd like to see a player with his physical capabilities get there.
I was gonna say, yeah, you can't really compare Thon and Giannis because Giannis was just a freak. I didn't know who Giannis was when he got drafted. I saw highlights from like, he didn't even play on the actual national team for Greece. He was on the B squad, essentially, to say. Then he comes out his rookie year, averaged, 10 points, which jumped to 15 the next year. Then, 20 the following. Potential MVP candidate in that last year. And now he is an MVP candidate. That's progression that only somebody like LeBron would have done.
Pretty much.
You can't compare anybody to Giannis right now. Right? You can't compare Giannis to LeBron neither, but that's the type of progression I was seeing out of him.
Yeah. And if anything with Thon, I hate to make this comparison, but one thing with Thon and his jumpers kind of harkens back to Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
Where you want a nice forward role player where you can get your boards, get your physicality, and get your mid-range. If you get that out of him, you're content.
Yeah. If you can get him to know his role, like he barely played when LeBron was there, but when he came in, very effective. If you can get Thon to know his role and come in and do what he needs to do, get 10 points, 10 boards, or whatever, protect the rim, he's perfect. He'd be the perfect role player and probably get a most improved player award at one point in his career because it's going to skyrocket at one point. His stats will explode just because you got somebody like Giannis that just going to make you better in general.
Yeah. And I'd be remiss talking about all the Bucks changes if I just didn't say that, you know what, John Horst taking over as GM this past year or so, he's made some impressive moves so far.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because we wanted Kid out.
Yeah. I mean,
bringing in Bledsoe. Now, granted, the DJ Wilson draft pick, kind of controversial considering you could have brought in Kyle Kuzma, but okay, we'll see what happens. Too early to reserve judgment, I guess.
I was going to say, yeah, because you couldn't have thought Kyle Kuzma, who was, a 2, 3, 4 years player in college, that's not this year's these day and age draft anymore. You don't go after the 4-year player. I mean, Brogdon was a very big outlier. Even though he's not as elite as people may think or wants to say, But with John Horst, he seemed like the GM's not listening to Kid when he was here anymore. When we had Kid, the GM did listen to Kid. That's why we got somebody like MCW who, granted, physical stature kind of looks like J Kid, but didn't play like J Kid. That's where I feel the change was needed. He came in and did what he wanted to do and didn't take nobody else's opinion in there. He said, "Oh, Eric Bledsoe's available. Let me see what I can do." And got him for a steal, which was beautiful.
Once I heard that trade, I saw it on my phone, the push notification. I was like, wait, huh?
All you did was give up Greg Monroe and a draft pick?
And I just saw Phoenix is trying to buy out Monroe's contract.
They did. And I wouldn't mind having him back because there's another guy that played his role, but we can't get him back.
No.
I hate the CBA for that. But that would be a beautiful thing. We didn't even plan on that.
Yeah.
And it happened.
How awesome would that be? You bring him back for his role he had with Kidd, which is one of the few things I agreed with Kidd on, is you bring him off the bench to be your scorer. Because the Bucks need a scorer off the bench.
Yeah.
Because Bledsoe's going to start. I like the Bledsoe-Brogdon starting duo in the backcourt. That's nice. Throw Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4. That's cool. But then you need a scorer off the bench.
But that's where you come in and get Jason Terry, who could be the spark now. Which, from what I've seen highlights, he's coming off and hit a few threes.
He hit 4 on Sunday against the Bulls. He hit another 1 or 2 Monday night against the Sixers. Like, that was another thing. He didn't really get a lot of time under Kidd.
Yeah.
And
that's that veteran spark that you need. You need somebody out there Jason Terry, who's pushing 40, can still get out there and ball, as you said, hit 4 threes Sunday. You need somebody that can lead by example. You get somebody kind of like D Wade's doing in Cleveland when he's playing. They're gonna follow that.
And it's nice too, because then you have that guiding presence in practice where you can look at these young players and say, hey, when you get to this point in the game, this is what you should do, or you should look for this person here. And every team would love to have a player like that.
Yeah.
Especially one who's been there in the finals with Dallas.
Which I'm still upset that Miami kind of lost that. But that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. So going into the All-Star break, do you buy into any of these snubs thing? And does it matter? The game itself.
Do I buy into the snubs? No, because they're all in. Damian Lillard got in, and with DeMarcus Cousins getting hurt, Paul George is in. So I'm okay now. I mean, granted, Paul George did deserve to get voted in, but I mean, when you in a loaded West where you got to compete against forwards like LeBron, like KD, like DeMarcus Cousins, who I believe is categorized as a forward, and AD, it's going to be hard. And Damian Lillard is going to be hard because it's a guard-heavy West. I mean, it's almost any team they have a star guard.
Look at what McCollum did last night.
Exactly.
And he's on his team.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I love Dame. Dame can ball, but the West is just too loaded. If he wants an every day, every year All-Star vote, you got to go out East. Granted, I'm a big believer. I think he needs to leave Portland just to get that notoriety. I feel somewhere like New York would be a great fit for him just because he can be in that big market, be Dame Dollar, as his rap name goes, and make those big shots in the Mecca. I mean, much more big notoriety can you get out of that?
Pretty much.
Then you playing with somebody like Porzingis, even though I feel like Porzingis is going to leave once his rookie contract is up, just because
he sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah, they got Frank Ntilikina, but that's about it. But as far as the All-Star game, I'm holding out judgment. I'm hoping with the increase in what the payout is for the winners, granted it's only 100,000 to millionaires. I'm hoping with that increase in the fact that they literally get to pick their own teams like it's a pickup game. Even though I wish they would have aired that or done it like.
So did LeBron. So did a lot of players.
Like Christine Leahy said, line them all up. Take them back to the old court days.
Right.
Where you at the park, get 2 captains. I want you, and you. Let's run. Do it like that. That'd have made for great TV. Granted, Westbrook probably would have been mad, especially if he got picked in a bad spot and just went off on everybody. But that's Westbrook, so we expect that.
That's going to be entertaining, too, because then in the game themselves, he's going to go out to prove himself.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, These guys are millionaires. They got egos, yes, but they know it's nothing but a pickup game. Take it out on the court. If you get picked last, just prove why you should have been picked last. And make them want to pick you next time.
Which, if anything, when you listen to the conferences and follow the media leading up to it, you heard Steph saying, yeah, Giannis dunked all over me last year. I want him on my team. What happens? He picks Giannis.
Exactly. And I think that's because KD was taken first. But, again, that's neither here nor there. He did the right thing picking Giannis because if not, he would have been a whole nother poster or been ducking, taking cover like he did last year's All-Star game on the ground. So, yeah, smart job, Steph. Smart job.
Which is crazy because when the rosters were first released, everybody's like, oh my gosh, LeBron's team's going to kill Steph. And 3 injuries later, it's like, wow, that's not nice.
But even before the injuries, it's a 3-point game. Steph has...
Harden.
Yeah. He has a lot of shooters over there.
Yeah.
He got Clay. He got his Splash brother. He got Draymond, who, needless to say, if you leave him open and challenge him to shoot the 3, he can hit it. It may not be as potent as a Splash brother or KD. He can still hit it, so I wouldn't really test him.
I love how someone, I forget who it was, but someone would say, oh, tell me who's going to guard KD. I'm like, how about the younger version?
Yeah.
KD himself has said Giannis could be the best player ever.
Yeah.
So, like, I would love to see those 2 giants go at it. Like, that'd be great. Those long freaks. Like, come on, man. That'd be awesome.
But side note to our earlier segment, KD and LeBron on the same team. Was this a plant by Golden State?
Man, listen. Let's not go there. We opened up with the LeBron Golden State segment. I thought we closed that, man.
It's the early recruitment. I mean,
I don't know. The way
Draymond did recruit right after they lost the finals for KD. Even though they was recruiting throughout the season.
Well, and if you remember the clip after one of the Warriors games, LeBron walked in on Steph's interview, said, Team LeBron, man, threw a towel at him and everything. Like, they're all having fun with it. LeBron just went up to Andre Drummond the other night and said, hey, Team LeBron. Like, they're all having fun with it. It's going to be great to see.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't wait for it. I mean, I look forward to the All-Star Weekend every year. Granted, the dunk contest has been hit and miss, but...
I don't know, man. With Donovan Mitchell?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get Dennis Smith Jr. in?
That's why I need Dennis Smith in there. That's my early pick.
Just
right
let those 2 do it.
That's my early pick to win it all.
Like, even if you throw in Kuzma, and we all wish we could get LeBron and Westbrook in there too. I mean, come on.
I feel like you might have to hold a gun at LeBron's head get in the dunk contest, even though I think he's gonna look at you like, so you gonna use that or not? Okay, let me move on.
Especially with the videos we've seen of him goof around in practice. Like,
yeah, I mean,
oh my gosh.
He's going between his legs twice, throwing it off the backboard and jamming. I'm like, dude, for real? You got us watching these horrible dunk contests while you're doing stuff like this in warm-up.
Just teasing us. Just teasing us.
He's still at, 33, 34, head above the rim. Come on, LeBron. Stop teasing us.
Man, that's what he does. That's just what he does. Wish, I can't get mad at him for it. You do what you do, fine. But, dream scenarios. Come on, man. Don't make us rely on 2K for this.
Yeah.
What can you do? So, now talking about NBA, we got to cross over because there's another thing going on this weekend. I can't think. Oh yeah, Super Bowl. That thing.
Looking forward to it. We got a Milwaukee native representing us right now from Riverside in the Super Bowl. Buddy. Can't wait for it. I'm pulling for you. Needless to say, I'm picking Philly to win it just because of Brandon Brooks. Even though I'm not a big Patriot fan, Tom Brady is the greatest. As far as I feel accolades go.
I think we established it last year. And people want to throw the word GOAT around it. This man's very cautious with the word GOAT.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between greatest talent and greatest player.
Yeah.
So you go to talent. If you go to talent, you have to throw around names like Marino, who never got a ring.
Like Steve Young, who got 2?
I think so.
I mean, as even early as modern as right now, Packer fan, yes. But Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has one ring, and people argue had one good defense, even though I still say 2010, the defense wasn't that good. It was more so just Charles Woodson saying, hey, you go there.
Well, it was Woodson and it was Nick Collins, who, in my mind, was one of the most underrated safeties the game has ever seen.
Yeah.
Because he was such a ball hawk in the secondary. And he had that pick six in the Super Bowl on Big Ben.
Yeah.
Ever since Collins had that career-ending injury, the defense has not been the same. And they never replaced him. And that was one of the most frustrating things for me with Green Bay, is you had a player like a Micah Hyde who looked like he had that potential to do that again. You let him walk to Buffalo, and he's in the Pro Bowl having an all-pro year. Casey Hayward, off to the Chargers, all-pro.
That's the thing with the Packers. They don't want to sign their free agents.
Yeah.
I mean, your franchise player said after you lost last season, the first thing we need to do is sign Jared Cook. He went to Oakland. Damn. Our tight end has been a revolving door ever since.
You bring in Martellus Bennett, which at the time was a great splash signing, and he made a couple plays early in the season, but then things kind of fell off the wheels.
Which I can't blame him for, but again, that's neither here nor there. He might get another ring this year.
Back to the Super Bowl.
Can't blame him.
Back to the Super Bowl. So, among the biggest stories to come out, it's like, like you said, Brady as a historically great quarterback. I think his legacy is already cemented.
Yeah.
An intriguing one to me is Philly trying to get their first Super Bowl, and this whole underdog story from the divisional round and their home games. Is this game more about Foles and what he can do as a quarterback, or is it all on Philly's defense and Brady?
I think it's more on Philly's defense and Brady because you can't expect Foles to come out and do what he did to Minnesota 2 weeks ago. You just don't get two games like that. Just like you don't get Minnesota having another miracle play or another win after such a high they had after that miracle touchdown that Stephon Diggs had. So I feel it's going to be more so Philly D having to stop Brady, which, albeit, I believe they can do. I mean, Jacksonville defense did it playing man-to-man for about 3 quarters, and then Brady said, oh, crap, I'm the greatest quarterback to play the game, quote-unquote. Let me start playing the game. And with Nick Foles, just don't make no mistakes. At least nothing that's too costly. Yeah, you may throw a couple incomplete passes, maybe a pick, but if it's going to be a pick, at least make it be in their red zone. Don't give them great field position where you throw a pick at midfield and Brady just got to go 50 yards to score, because that's just going to kill you. And if they can do that, Philly will walk out with a ring.
Something really, to me, that has to be said is how huge, in hindsight, was that Ajayi trade with Miami for Philly.
Yeah.
That just turned the corner from...
You have a two-headed monster now in the backfield. You got LeGarrette Blount, who ran over the Patriots defense last year, if you think about it, because he had to practice against them. So he kind of knows their tendencies of which way they may think he's going to go, so he can go the opposite. Then you got Ajayi, who's probably the most elusive back I've seen next to, Le'Veon Bell in the NFL so far this year. You got a bruiser and a evader. You can't really go wrong.
And you can throw in Corey Clement as your pass catcher, because he's no Darren Sproles, but he's a heck of a backup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with Darren Sproles there, they would have been beautiful. You don't know what to do. They literally would be the Patriots of the NFC if you think about it. There's not one rusher on the Patriots team that can say, oh, today's going to be my day. 'Cause they don't know. And you can say the same thing with Ajayi and Blunt on Sunday. Neither one of them know whose day is going to be. It just depends on who Doug Peterson says, yes, you're going to get the ball right now.
Well, that's the same thing you had in New Orleans with Kamara and Ingram, and that was beautiful.
Yeah, but I think everybody knew Kamara was going to be the guy. I mean, I think everybody knows right now Kamara is going to be the guy. Granted, Mark Ingram can come in and destroy you too, but you got to more so worry about Kamara than anything.
Yeah. Golly. It's really good to see in such a quarterback league that running backs are getting back to
Yeah.
prominence. You look at Fournette and Yeldon in Jacksonville.
You look at who is it? Who won me my Todd Gurley? Won my fantasy league. He won a lot of people's fantasy league. I mean, but you can theorize him and what Sean McVay made Jared Goff this year. I mean, you hand him the ball, he's almost destined to get 20 yards, if not more.
Which I got to go back and look at film of him, but that's also a testament to the offensive line.
Yeah.
Just putting out holes there. Because you get players like that can make one cut or they can make a tackle or two miss and they're in the open field and they're gone. Yeah. But having the holes there always helps.
Yeah. And a brilliant play caller and designer in Sean McVay doesn't hurt at all.
If he doesn't get coach of the year. I mean, I would, if Doug Peterson from Philly gets it for getting him to the Super Bowl, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, you lose an MVP candidate in Carson Wentz and still make it to the Super Bowl. If you get it, good job. You deserved it.
But McVay is at least runner-up for me with the transformation that team made.
If not 1 A and 1 B.
Pretty much.
I would be okay if you make 2 trophies.
Which, to me, looking ahead to next year very briefly, I think it's Philly and the Rams have to be the favorites, assuming there's no major changes.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Minnesota potentially getting a quarterback or Jaguars getting a quarterback, there's nothing changing in NFL in general.
Not really. Not yet, anyways. Off-season, you never know.
Yeah.
But, so looking at the matchups, we saw what Philly's defense can do against a Matt Ryan offense, against Minnesota's receivers. What do we expect out of them against Brady? Are they going to blitz him and force him to pressure, or are they content to sit back and man and just say, okay, hit us?
You can't do that. I think if you sit back and let him look at your defense, he'll pick you apart. I think you will have to mix it up as far as you got to be able to play man coverage and still blitz him at some point. And if Gronk is playing, that's going to be hard because you got to throw at least 2 guys on him because I don't see you having that safety or that nickel that's going to be able to just stick him as much as the Jaguars did the week before, well, 2 weeks before he got out.
Yeah.
But you can't let Brady sit in the pocket for 6 seconds and just progression. That's where he's just going to pick you apart, and you might even catch him run for a first down or 2 if that's the case.
Definitely not, but that front 7, I will say, they don't have to even rush. They don't even have to load the box to get pressure.
No.
You saw that against Minnesota. You even saw that against Atlanta. Like, they can rush 4. They can even rush 3.
And still get pressure, yeah. But if you don't get to him and hit him and make him know that you're there, he's going to pick you apart.
And if you sit back and pull a zone, he'll do it. He'll do that even more.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line with a player as good as Brady to do. What I love, though, is how their secondary matches up with New England's receivers. I think they can really hold their own.
Yeah. I mean, albeit the receivers are in the NFL, but they're all, I don't want to say it, for lack of a better word, it's kind of mediocre. I mean, the best receiver he has was Moss, and nobody on this team comes close to Moss.
No, I mean, Amendola's nothing bad.
I mean,
granted, Brandon Cooks has some nice breakout games too, but
next year I think that's going to be the beautiful matchup to watch with Cooks and Brady, just because it gives them a year under the belt of getting to know each other. He's even saying right now that their communication, their chemistry is getting better and better, which could either help them in the Super Bowl right now or be a beautiful thing to watch next year.
Either way, that should be a fun matchup. So, while we're talking about matchups, why not? It's, Thursday? Let's get a prediction out there, throw it on the record. So, you want to start or you want me to?
I already told you. I got to pull for a hometown guy. I'm pulling for Brandon Brooks and the Philadelphia Eagles. I want somebody from Milwaukee to do something big. And right now, he's our big shot right now to get a Super Bowl ring. And I mean, I can't say I played with the guy, but I was on the same team with the guy and just saw how great he was. And I would be extremely happy if him and Philly pull out this win and get the ring this year.
So what do you think the potential big play of the game? Like last year, it was the Edelman catch. Like, what do you think a potential big play could be down the stretch? Assuming it is back and forth game, like it probably could be.
Honestly, I think it's going to be Philly's defense forcing Brady into a mistake and taking the pick six to the house.
So kind of like what Atlanta did in the first half last year.
Yeah, but Philly, I don't see folding. At least I hope.
We all hope.
I see Philly, and it's not going to be early. I think it's going to be a late game sealer where Brady's driving on his patented fourth quarter comeback or patented fourth quarter drive to win the Super Bowl, and going to throw that pick, and it's going to seal the win for Philly.
So what score you got? What's going to be?
With Nick Foles at quarterback, I mean, he can do anything. I say 35-32 Philly.
Ooh, down to the field goal. I like it. I'm so torn because I'm pulling so hard for Philly, and I respect the heck out of Tom Brady. Hell of a career,
yeah.
But I don't like the Patriots. I really don't like, and it's so hard for me to pick against them. Because it's so easy to say Philly's got the defensive matchups. Foles can either be like a Blake Bortles and not turn the ball over and put them in a position to win, or play over his head like again against Minnesota. But
they still got that man.
I can't pick against the Patriots. I'm going to go the other way. I think Philly does give him issues in the first half, but they make the changes and just have a couple drives click in the second half. Maybe Foles has a drive stall on him, or there's a fumble from Ajayi or something like that, who's been known to put the ball on the ground every now and then. So it could turn into something like that where it goes New England's way and they capitalize. And I'll say kind of similar lines. I'll say like 31-24 New England. So they I think the line's 6. I want to say a 6-point New England favorite.
No, I think it's 4.5 New England.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it started about 6 and dropped to 4.5.
Okay. I think either way the Pats can cover. Not that that matters for those of us who don't do, betting and all that. Wink, wink. We do not promote illegal things.
I mean, it ain't going to be illegal for long in NFL or NBA, to be honest.
True that. DraftKings and all that. But anyways, but yeah, to me, New England covers. The experience factor's there. They've been there, and it's just go out in a blaze of glory. And at that point, then after that, of course, the next day is going to be like, oh, does Brady come back? Does Belichick come back?
Speaking of which,
come on.
Does Belichick leave?
Where does he go?
I mean, GM role, you can kick whoever's out in New York. I mean, I'm pretty sure anybody that wants to win will hire him. Or does he just say skip and go down to Jupiter, Florida and play golf?
In my mind, and there's been rumblings and rumors about rifts between him and Kraft because of the whole Garoppolo trade.
Which I can believe. I mean, Garoppolo won 5 straight in San Francisco after they traded him.
Because the rumblings were, if memory serves me right, that Belichick wanted Garoppolo to start.
Yeah.
Over Brady.
Yeah.
And Kraft and Brady were having none of that, so they shipped Garoppolo out.
Yeah.
Which is believable, especially knowing Belichick. But, I mean, you look at Brady, he's still got at least a good 2 years left if you protect him. And that's like good Super Bowl quality years. That's not even counting off a bad year like Manning had his last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can't tell me that with what they turned Jacoby Brissett into, who's a serviceable quarterback for the Colts. You can't tell me that Belichick can't just take another guy out of the draft and just make him into, maybe not Brady, but a serviceable starter. So, I don't know why he leaves. I don't know where he would go to. To me, he just stays until he wants to retire.
I mean, but you think about it, 6 Super Bowls. I feel he was ready to prove he can do it without Brady. Everybody's saying Brady made him, which I would completely go the opposite. I think without Belichick, Brady isn't Brady.
To me, they go hand in hand. For a journalistic piece I wrote this past summer, did a lot of research and looking at Brady and his career, and he started out of nowhere at Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, he was like 7th on the depth chart at Michigan before he even got drafted. And if you look at his combine, oh my goodness.
It was horrible, yeah. But if you look at it, the year they won the first Super Bowl, it was because of the defense and who was it? Adam Vinatieri, I believe it was, the kicker.
Oh, yeah.
I think he could have took any quarterback because Brady got, 150 yards that year in the Super Bowl and won.
Well, and Drew Bledsoe was no slouch when he went out.
Exactly.
He took them to the Super Bowl when Green Bay beat him.
Yeah. So I felt really he could have won that Super Bowl with any quarterback and made them into what Brady is today. Granted, looking at his Brady versus Time piece, which I still need to go back and watch the next couple of episodes, I don't think anybody would have been Brady the way Brady is.
No.
He is literally anal. He's obsessed with football, which you can see it in his play.
Which is just a testament to his character and his drive. Which is, you don't have to like him, but you have to respect him.
Yeah, you got to give him his respect because he has earned every last bit of it.
So, as far as legacy goes for the Super Bowl, to me it was cemented last year. This is just adding to it.
28-3, yeah.
This is just, Falcons choked away, whatever. The point is, they still put points on the board.
Yeah.
So,
But I look at it, if I was both of them, I would ride off to the sunset. You got 6 Super Bowls. Go sit back and polish your rings and kick it with your kids and your girl.
May as well.
I mean, you done killed the league. Ain't nobody gonna beat you. You made the best halftime adjustments in any game. Come on. Just go back and relax, Bill. Go to Jupiter, Florida and play golf. Do something.
Which is nice to see him actually smiling in these Super Bowl press conferences. That was great.
That's
Apparently,
he's just toying with him.
Yeah. He wore his dad's hat to get off the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? And it's like, it almost feels like they're ready for this swan song. Just to go out in the blaze of glory. Which, by all means, you deserve. For what you've accomplished.
Yeah. Go ahead. After your stint in Cleveland, go. Get out.
Running the AFC as long as they did is just nothing short of remarkable.
20 years. Granted, you was in a Rex Ryan Jets in AFC East.
With mediocrity personified in the Buffalo Bills and a Dolphins team whose best quarterback has been Chad Pennington. Wait, no, that was the Jets. Dolphins' best quarterback. Who was
Jay Cutler, apparently.
Oh no, don't go there.
Sadly.
Don't go there. I would almost rate Matt Moore above Jay Cutler.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't even know if they're ready to give up on Tannehill because he actually showed some flashes last year.
Danny brought Cutler in because Tannehill went down. They had no replacement.
Because Miami's got the talent there to do their own little thing with the receivers they have there. Kenyon Drake is nothing to look down on.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets got the talent. I mean, they were supposed to go 0-16 along with Cleveland.
Yeah.
They won, 4 games?
4 or 5.
Yeah.
One or the other. So, Buffalo finally broke the playoffs drought.
Yeah, it took a little help, but they finally did.
Thank you, Cincinnati. Talk about mediocrity personified. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, let's not talk about Andy Dalton.
Ooh.
I'm still shocked Marvin Lewis has a job.
Forget Marvin Lewis. Hugh Jackson's 1 in 31. He still has a job. Which,
I'm not
again,
shocked by
in
that,
all fairness, who do you have on that team aside
Exactly.
from Josh Gordon?
Exactly, and he had that team actually playing. They was playing for Hugh. Like, they would show up and be competitive for, albeit maybe a half. And granted, they gave the Packers a run for the money, but we had...
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah.
Oh.
As Colin put it, in that game, Cleveland was the better team.
The whole game. Thank you, DeShone Kizer, for that terrible pick that set up the game winner, but Oh. This past season was just forgettable for Packers fans, honestly, start to finish. Because that just, it added to doubting McCarthy's capabilities, because you look at what Minnesota did with Case Keenum and their third-string quarterback, and you look at McCarthy constantly defending Hundley, saying, I've had him for 3 years. Well, you had him for 3 years. What did he do?
One game?
That game against Pittsburgh, he played his ass off, but you still lost. So, what does that say, McCarthy? What does that say? Now, hopefully the next year with all these changes that McCarthy can get together, and they'll be great. I'd love that.
I don't know. Reports came out. Rodgers is kind of upset because they fired his quarterback coach.
Yeah, Van Pelt is gone, and they didn't talk to Rodgers. Now, what?
Like you're making the wrong person angry right now.
Come on, Green Bay. This is literally your team. One man.
As you saw, he goes down. Y'all are screwed.
Oh, the Packers. God.
But that's a segment for a whole another day, because I can go on for hours about the Packers.
Oh, we all can. So, that's that. And until the Super Bowl's over, it's hard to look that far ahead into the offseason. So we'll just kind of put that on the shelf.
Yeah.
But on another note, something else that Travon and I talk over is WWE and New Japan and all that, because, damn it, we're still wrestling nerds every now and then.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great entertainment.
So, talking Royal Rumble. I loved that the nostalgia had its moments. Hurricane was hilarious. But this is why I almost give up on WWE and just want to stick with New Japan. The storylines they build are either non-existent or so convoluted you just scratch your head and wonder why. Because you got almost nothing out of the Rumble.
I mean, it was more so the start of a storyline, if you think about it. You got Nakamura, who won the Royal Rumble and blatantly said, I want AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
And that's literally the dream match for any diehard wrestling fan.
Ever since the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match over in New Japan, which was instant classic. If you've never seen it, look it up.
Yeah. I mean, every diehard fan, once AJ got here and then there was rumors that Nakamura was coming, you finally saw him in NXT, you was like, holy crap, this might actually happen. And then you had that moment at, Money in the Bank, I believe it was?
The standoff they had. They put the ladder aside away and went at it. Oh my gosh.
had goosebumps watching the match as far as what was going on in the arena. Granted, I didn't get the ending I wanted. It still was a great pay-per-view in my opinion, because you got that match basically set up. I don't see WWE deviating it from it. If they do, everybody in the creative need to get shot. Because you're screwing up a beautiful WrestleMania.
Not literally, of course, but definitely need to take a look at yourself and say, what are you doing?
Yeah. If you somehow take the title off of AJ and it's not on Nakamura at Mania, something is wrong with you. You're gonna get like we talked about. It was the beautiful planning. You got Asuka winning the Royal Rumble, so you basically just delved into Japan. You sent Chris Jericho over there to wrestle Omega. So you already got somewhat of a taste of Japan fans coming over to WWE. Now you just got a lot of them, all of them, if not because of Nakamura and Asuka, which was beautiful planning by Vince. I don't give him a lot of credit, but that was beautiful.
That almost makes me wonder, was it Vince? Was it Triple H?
Or was the writing on the wall saying, it's about time Nakamura gets his push, and we still got Asuka, who's undefeated in WWE. Which, how long do you actually see that lasting?
Ugh.
Especially because it's going to happen. She's going to win the title of Mania.
Oh, yeah.
But when do she lose? Is it going to be a Goldberg that goes on for, 4 or 5 years?
I'm going to put it out there. I don't want Rousey to understreak. Call me biased, but I want it old-fashioned where you build up a young talent and let them have it. You build up Brock to serve up to someone else to take over the monster role.
Yeah, in my dream scenario, it's going to be Ember Moon.
That would be nice.
Whenever you get her to come up from NXT, you renew that rivalry.
Especially with the trilogy match they had on NXT. It was at least 2 of them.
Yeah.
They had some great matches.
Yeah, it has to be her in my opinion. You build her up after you're done having her run with the title in NXT, and build her up probably for another Mania, depending on when you get her.
Either that, or from the Mae Young Classic, you had Kairi Sane, who people didn't really know much about before that classic.
I'm starting to fall in love with her as a wrestler, yes, but she has another like 2 years or so in NXT before she comes.
I know. That's just how the development process works with them. When it works, it works. But you just hope they don't kill the booking once they get to the main roster.
Like they kind of did with Bayley and Nakamura with his initial stint, to be honest.
Well, and Balor when he's come back after his injury.
Yeah.
You were waiting for the Bullet Club.
Yeah, and we finally got it. Now, please book it properly.
Now it's, quote, Balor Club, unquote, which is like, okay, fine.
Understandable, because you can't copyright another term that's already copyrighted in New Japan.
Especially after they went after the Young Bucks for doing the Too Sweet thing. It's like, well, whatever.
I mean, they started it, but okay. I'm just saying. But my big surprise, Ronda Rousey. I hate her, but I love her. You can't throw me off like that and say, oh, I'm in Columbia shooting mile 22, then pop up at the end of Royal Rumble and point at the WrestleMania sign. Come on now.
Pointed like 10 times, but whatever.
I mean, she was caught up in the moment.
You could tell. You could tell. She was just enjoying the moment.
You could look at her. She was walking down the ramp like, holy crap. There's a lot of freaking people here, and I'm actually here. It was a beautiful sight to see.
Yeah.
And granted, the writing's on the wall for her to be up against Charlotte. I'm assuming at Mania, even though it's still rumors out there that it's going to potentially be her and The Rock versus Triple H and Stephanie, which you can kind of see with the standoff at the end of Rumble, of the tentative handshake, and the fact that they kind of went at each other, 3 years ago at WrestleMania?
Yeah, the little arm drag or whatever. It's fine. Okay, fine. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. But the dream scenario is the 4 horsewomen of UFC versus the 4 horsewomen of WWE, but it's going to take time.
Definitely.
Right now, we're in the brand split, which surprisingly is working better than ever.
Well, it took a while for them to find their footing last year, but it's good to see that there's actually some form of progression happening. Speaking of the brand split, of course, unless somebody's told me wrong, Roman Reigns is taking the Universal title at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's already set in stone. They didn't print it, laminate it, and everything. Got his name, place, and everything ready.
Does that devalue the Elimination Chamber match? Because I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but I'm assuming Reigns is in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Because it's Strowman. I think it's Strowman, Cena, and Elias punched their ticket at Raw this past Monday.
And this Monday is probably going to be a match against
whoever.
Let's say probably the Miz again. Granted, it won't be for the title, but he's going to get over the hump again against the Miz Taraj and take out Miz and get into the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Even though I can see them saying you versus Seth just off of the way him and Seth teamed up and put Miz out, and then he turned over and threw him out in the Royal Rumble, which I can see that. Which they will put on one hell of a match, but...
Well, yeah. That's the other thing that's hard with the brand split, is your roster is only so deep, and you have so many matches that have already happened. It's like, well...
Yeah.
Like looking at the potential split between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, it's like, that was done to death in NXT. It was done to death last year.
But it's finally Zayn's turn to do it.
If you put him over properly, fine.
Yeah.
I still don't know if they're ready to get behind him as a main eventer, which is sad because I think he is.
If he does a good job as a heel in the mid-card, I think they will. I'm liking him as a heel because he's an annoying heel.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a natural heel. He's being himself, surprisingly, but he's still a heel. And I think being with Kevin Owens has helped that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's because the two have such great chemistry together, they go back. And so when you have that relationship already established, then you can really, let each other develop and just work with each other like that. So that's always good to see. But yeah, going into Mania, I guess we'll see. Elimination Chamber should be a big step, and you just... You hope there's progression and continuity. That's the only thing you can hope for at this point, especially continuity you really gotta hope for. And, well, now I'm waiting to see what the best wrestler in the world, aka Shane McMahon, what his feud's gonna be.
I'm still waiting for them to clear Daniel Bryan so he can get that match against Shane. You can see it.
I know.
You can see it's there.
I know.
That it's so much bigger and going back and forth of him, quote unquote, siding with Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see it.
No.
I don't want to say I'm tired of seeing Shane wrestle.
I am.
I'm not. He's a great character and he does nice spots, but
he's not.
Do it at something other than Mania.
Please.
Or SummerSlam.
Please.
Either one of them, because you put on a nice match, surprisingly, with AJ last year.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
But you got to stop just saving it for the big match.
The matches we want are Daniel Bryan and Nakamura. We want that dream match, just like Nakamura and Styles. Even if Bryan builds up and puts over a guy like Baron Corbin or Sami Zayn, let him work with these young talents because, goodness sakes, Bryan's not that over the hill. I don't think so. No. If he knocks the rust off, he could be fine and fit right back in.
I don't even think there's much rust to really knock off. Maybe just hitting the ropes a little bit.
Basically.
But if he gets the clear, I hope he doesn't leave like it was rumored earlier in the year. Well, late last year, I guess I should say. That he's contemplating going to independent circuit once the contract is up.
Which, hey, Ring of Honor, come on.
True, but he's WWE. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Chris Jericho. Yeah, he did the match in New Japan. He's WWE. He's coming back.
Pretty much.
Even though I need Omega to stop signing these contract extensions so he can come over to WWE.
You can only hope.
Man.
But that's for another time. So, yeah, that's those news. So, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds with that. Taking a brief look at college basketball, the parity is ridiculous. It's just that you can make an argument, I guess, that Virginia is a good number one. Duke with Bagley, Michigan State with Bridges and players like that. Trae Young in Oklahoma. It's nice to watch these players, but March Madness is just always going to be mad. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a number one this year.
I can honestly say you might see a 16 take out a 1 this year. That's how close every team is.
Yeah.
If you get the right draw, a 16 may actually take out a 1 this year.
I think that's the... Well, I don't think. That's the ultimate upset that everybody's always been waiting for.
Yeah. If I get that, I think I can die a happy man. Yes, I got my 15 versus 2, who was in Mercer over Duke one year.
Something like that.
That was beautiful. I'm not a big Duke fan, even though I'm pulling for him this year because I done seen Bagley play. That boy can ball. Honestly, he should win Naismith of the Year. I don't care what Trae Young does. This man can do just about anything. He forces people to move out the lane, kind of the way LeBron does when he's coming downhill.
Yeah.
And then if you test him, he will, like he did against Virginia, even though they lost the game, knock down clutch threes.
Put it to you like this. Is he a better version of what Jabari was at Duke?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Mainly because you can't move him on the block. I don't want to say he's Hakeem-esque, but he can go into the bag of tricks and get you off your feet and have an easy layup.
It's so dangerous just to make player comparisons these days because everybody wants to get nostalgic and defend the older generation when the game's just changed so much.
Yeah. I mean, NBA, you can't touch them. And granted, if you want to make a comparison, Joel is kind of closer to Hakeem than anything because he has the beautiful dream shake. His first game last year, I believe, he hit somebody nasty with the dream shake. I'm like, holy crap. And then he pulled somebody out from the thing like, who is this guy? He was hurt most of the year in Kansas and the past 2 years. What is going on?
That makes you wonder if he can stay healthy and actually do back-to-backs, which... Again, you don't want to rush him into, but if he can be healthy and if they can continue to build around him,
Yeah, that's a team, if Ben Simmons get a jumper, it's over. It's kind of like Giannis. They have a nice squad. Markelle Fultz, if he fires whatever shooting coach is on the Philadelphia Sixers roster and say, hey, I'm going back to my shooting form, they will be unstoppable. Because Joel Embiid is unstoppable.
Yeah.
Just ask Westbrook.
Pretty much.
I mean, come on now.
With that being said, I'm especially looking forward to, hey, it's February 1st, so conference tournaments are not that far away.
March Madness is right around the corner.
Always a fun time. Always a fun time. You know,
I'm not going to do, I don't think I'm going to do a bracket this year because every time the first round, the first weekend screws
it's just
up
so
the whole
sad.
game. It's like every time I try to get in that billion dollar bracket, first weekend screws me up.
You can enter like 10 of those and you might have one team in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Maybe. I still remember back in high school, the first, Louisville was looking really like, this was before they made that run with Peyton Siva and won the title over Michigan. This is like a year or two before then. I had Louisville winning it all and they lost in the first round. I was like, it's just so crazy. Just trying to even justify half of your picks, especially upsets. Like,
yeah, even a dominant team that you think is the best in college basketball can lose second, third round. Especially once you hit the Sweet 16, because that's when the actual good teams face each other almost.
Well, and you look at like a Kansas, Wichita State, Northern Iowa, and Kentucky or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, these are matchups you love to see because you don't get them as much. But something I will give college basketball a lot of credit for, and this is probably just money and contracting, but these things like the 2K Classic, Champions Classic, where you have some of these great matchups like Michigan State and Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, and some of these more bigger, high-profile matches coming out, like the Big Ten ACC Challenge and the SEC Big 12. Like, you almost wish you'd start to see them in college football, but logistically it's harder because you have so many fewer games. But
yeah, I mean, granted, you got to give the Division II teams and FCS schools a shot, but you want competition.
not if you're Bama. Shots fired.
That's messed up. I'm Team SEC over here, cuz. You gotta leave my SEC alone, dog.
Hey, I'm just saying, you know what? In all fairness to Bama, they played Florida State week 1, who was at the time rated in the top 20 in the AP.
Which you can't fault them.
No. You never...
You can't plan for a quarterback to go down and to end the season.
Well, and preseason polls are just... You can throw them out the window.
Yeah, especially like right after the championship game has Bama rated number 1. You never know what to happen. Bama could lose they new starting quarterback week 1.
Well, Bama can lose any quarterback and they'll throw in their backup and win the national title. Oh, wait, they did.
You right. They had a random guy from Hawaii that nobody knew. And he makes a game-winning drive in OT and
That's a whole
championship.
That's a whole nother topic for another day. The Bama legacy from Nick Saban. My goodness.
He just single-handedly destroyed the SEC. Thanks, Saban.
Poor Les Miles.
Les Miles.
Urban
Meyer ran from him. He got sick because of Nick Saban.
Now he's over in Ohio State trying to run the Big Ten, but nah. Penn State and Wisconsin and Michigan State. And I'm sorry, I'm a Michigan fan, but they're not up there yet because Harbaugh can't win big games. Yeah, I said it.
Is it Harbaugh or is it the fact that he can't recruit a quarterback?
I'll give him one more year.
Yeah. Because
they got the transfer from Mississippi, who I'm intrigued by. And I want to see just if he can develop. Because he's done it at the pro level, but, pro college, what can you do?
Yeah, it's a different game, but you dealing with huge egos in the pros, and you was able to take Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl twice, I believe, or get close twice.
It always helps when you have players around them, but you'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. For now, defense wins championships, and so does coaching. So, between now and then, unless something shocking happens, we'll see.
Damn you, Nick Saban. Oh, my Gators ran Urban Meyer out the SEC. What you gonna do next? Win 8 straight? Please don't.
For parity's sake. For parity's sake, which college basketball has going on, let's get that into football. You know, I don't care who it is. UCF, hey, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
That, like, again, that's another topic for another day, because I can, again, go on for hours about the college playoff system. So
there's never gonna be a real solution.
There's just they don't want it.
Not one that everyone agrees on.
Yeah.
Because purists will say, well, we just want the best teams. And it's like, well, that's not as clear cut.
Exactly, because you got UCF who wins undefeated, and you're still leaving out a conference out of the Power 5.
Yeah. So there's never going to be a clear cut solution. I mean, people still complain about March Madness every now and then, and that's the land of opportunity right there. Yeah. So it is what it is. And you just kind of got to make the best of it and just kind of live with it. So it is what it is. We still get our fun entertainment values, so can always be grateful for that. So going into the Super Bowl weekend, go Philly.
Let's go Philly. Brandon Brooks all day. I never thought I would root for a lineman, but let's go Brooks.
So between now and then, I think we're about ready to wrap up this first podcast. So whoever's listening, thanks for putting up with us for so long. We'll try and make this at least a weekly thing, if not more often, depending on, viewership and all that. Still unsponsored as of yet. All trademarks go to whoever owns their people. We're not trying to say we own anything except for our opinions, because you're not taking our opinions from us. Never that.
I may use some of y'all knowledge of what y'all say, like I quoted Colin a few times, but you're not taking my own opinion.
No. We gotta be original. Definitely that. So, signing off, I'm Logan Shore.
I'm Travon Davis.
Appreciate y'all listening, and stay classy, Milwaukee. Oh, wait, is that trademarked? All right, y'all just stay good.